Financial stumbling blocks happen to the best of us, especially when the economy hits a rough patch. But fear not, because we have someone who's ready to guide us to victory. School's First Federal Credit Union is here to share practical strategies for achieving lasting financial well-being, even in the face of challenging times. Joining us is Brittany Owens, Financial Education Specialist for Schools First. Hi, Brittany.
Hi, Desiree. Thank you for having me today.
We're happy to have you on. And I wanted to kind of dive right into this because what's a major financial mistake that can trip us up when our budget is being stretched a little too thin, and what strategies can we implement?
So the very first thing, when a person's budget is really tight, we're going to our credit cards and we're making these purchases, but that is something we'll want to avoid, especially with the average interest rate being 24%. Whatever we're putting on that credit card is going to cost us more actually in the long run, especially if we're not paying that balance off in the end of the month. Another thing, if we're realizing that with our credit card, we're putting our everyday expenses, our gas, our utilities, and our rent on our credit card, we'll want to stop doing that. We'll actually want to sit down, reassess our budget, and to see if there's anywhere we can save. There are a lot of free online calculators, but Schools First actually has a really cool calculator. It's called the Household Cash Flow. You're able to download this calculator, and you're going to see what's coming in, to your account. And then you're able to see if there's any wiggle room, any adjustments you can make to your budget. And you can find that. You can go to our website, SchoolsFirstFCU.org, and you're going to search, am I spending more than what I earn, to find that calculator.
Okay, I was going to say, easier said than done, Brittany, not to use the credit card, but it is helpful that there is that calculator like you mentioned, because I think it's easy to kind of turn a blind eye when we're swiping the card, but sitting down and really looking at what you said, what's coming in, what you're paying, is good to help alleviate some of that stress. What other financial pitfalls should we be on the lookout for during kind of these challenging times? What are some savvy moves we can make to safeguard our financial well-being?
Yes, so it's going to be almost neck and neck, almost tied with credit card spending, but that is not having an emergency account open. Go ahead and establish that. Just having, a dollar amount that's comfortable with your paycheck. So every pay cycle, taking some money from that check, putting it into a savings account. Having this emergency fund is going to help us in the long run. We're going to want to keep this savings account and try to get 3 to 6 months of living expenses in that designated savings account. Yes. But by having that, it's going to relieve some stress from us. We're not going to be running to our credit cards and making those high interest credit card payments. So having this emergency fund is going to be a godsend, and it's going to help us with our finances.
All right. And putting away money can feel like climbing that hill that's impossible to get to the top. We want to get there, but it's a trek getting there. So what other financial goals should we be strategizing for? Give us your expert advice on how we can go about this.
So when a lot of people are trying to climb that mountain, like you were saying, with their finances, the first thing they're thinking about, I'm going to stop putting money towards my retirement. We're not going to want to do that either. We're still going to want to try to put at least the minimum monthly payment towards our retirement. So if our employer is sponsoring, like employer is sponsored retirement account, if they're matching, try to put the same amount in, the minimum amount. And if your job does not have that available, look to maybe opening a traditional IRA or a Roth IRA to help you with your finances and your financial freedom in the future.
Okay, that's good to know. Are there other maneuvers people can make to achieve financial wellness during these kind of tough times?
Yeah, this one's kind of outside of the box. Not a lot of people think about this, but actually checking your credit report. Because people are like, well, I'm not using my credit on the day-to-day basis. But we actually are. We're looking at loans and credit cards, and if we have a lower credit score, our interest rates are going to be a lot higher. So we'll actually want to pull our credit report. We can go to annualcreditreport.com. We can get one free copy. It also includes Experian, TransUnion, Equifax on there. And if your credit is not exactly where you want to be, when you're reviewing this report, look for anything that you don't know that you have on there. It might be discrepancy. It might be identity theft. So you'll want to make sure everything looks correct. And if your score is on the lower end, take some time, especially right now. Look for ways to improve your score. If your score is not where you want it to be, start making your payments on time. That's 35% of the credit score. And also paying down that debt. That's 30% of your score.
Okay, good to know. And I actually enjoy checking my credit report, because even if you starting off low, it's when you're able to work on it and see that number get better and better. There's excitement in that.
Yes.
Brittany, so many helpful tips. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
You bet. And you can visit one of the many Schools First Federal Credit Union branch locations as seen on the screen. And as always, you can find out more by going to SchoolsFirstFCU.org.